Ladies and gentlemen, now today's dissertation, and it is going to be a dissertation on the way that Google works and how Google used to work. We're going to discuss the amount of monies that were at one time possible to earn on YouTube until Google took it over and changed the way the monetary settings on the videos, which wasn't so bad in the beginning. But at this point in time, the entire structure of monetization has changed. So I'm not going to go on a rant about this because it's not going to help. And probably it would be more detrimental to my channel. But I will tell you what my original earnings on YouTube were after I reached the 1,000 subscriber minimum in the year 2010, and how that has gone down 38 and now almost 42 times down, less money down than when I had 1,000 subscribers. I basically earned 42 times what I am earning in today's Google AdSense program. But the problem that exists is that I'm not alone, number one, so I'm not crying me a river. And Google, in general, I have earned quite a bit of money from Google. From the first few years I was on Google and YouTube, kind of makes up for the difference in some of the monies that we're losing now. But realistically speaking, you could offer up some complaints that would be valid. So I'm going to wait for a few more people to come on before I actually start talking about how much money was earned. But I will reiterate, and then I'm going to discuss another topic, the concrete construction in the Philippines in depth. I'm going to discuss it. And I just published a video about the concrete construction in the Philippines about 5 minutes ago. You might want to look at that if you're looking at this live stream and you're not in participating in it, you might want to look at that video and see what kind of catastrophic realities can occur from not doing something right when it comes to concrete construction in the Philippines. What that thing that caused this systemic catastrophic failure of 320 plus feet of 12-foot high wall, 6 inches or 8 inches, it's hard to see even though I zoomed in on it, for 12-foot high, 6 to 8 inches thick, poured concrete or filled concrete block. And then it had at least a 20-inch or 18-inch wide beam box that was 24 or 30 inches high. Like I said, it's hard to judge because it's up on the third floor level, but that third floor level is a good 35 to 38 feet higher than the street level. So I'm going to discuss concrete construction in depth in the Philippines, and I'm going to discuss the amount of monies that I'm earning now on YouTube and Google. Even after Google, they demonetized 535 videos, which I put out a video maybe about a year or so ago, and they demonetized those. So the monetization went down drastically. Well, recently I looked at that list of videos that they had sent me. At some point in what was called analytics, you were able to see which videos were demonetized, and I took screenshots. So I went and reviewed those videos. Now they're all monetized again. So let's start with the premise that Google has the right to do whatever they want, because you have to say that, because you signed as an AdSense earner and in the AdSense division, you sign a contract with Google saying that they have the right to demonetize you to shut off your channel. It even says in the contract, we can terminate your channel with cause or without cause. So that's kind of, when you sign it, you know, it's an electronic signature. When you sign that, you are signing the right that they own you, you know, or they own your your upload data. They own your channel. Basically, they let you earn money from it, and they give you a large percentage of the money that is earned, considering that such a little amount of work you have to do on your behalf. So there's a lot of good things about being a YouTube or Google AdSense creator that's very beneficial, because if you were to try to do this with your own website and pay the taxes and the stamp fees and the doing business as for your own website, and then to get a server to hold your videos on the server, you could definitely spend several $1,000s a year and all the time it takes to do the upkeep on your server, which Google gives you for free. So all in all, their AdSense program and their uploading program, considering how much money they invested in their servers and to censor or to keep the really, really bad stuff off the internet, that all costs money. So Google, in its own right, is a relatively beneficial product. But what they've done to me, and this is a personal thing, because I earned a certain amount of money when I first came on Google or YouTube. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that according to the statistics of the monies that I earned yesterday and the day before, the earnings for, let's say, the month of August, if they remain the same as yesterday and the day before's earnings, or this week's earnings, if they remain the same, I will have earned 42 times less money this month in August as I did in the month of August in 2012. And I'm not allowed, one of the things that people fail to understand is you're not allowed to show, you can get permission from Google to show the analytics charts, but you really, it's a fine line as to whether or not you can show them. So I don't. But my Patreon members, I have sent them out private videos where they receive the link, and they can see that there is a horrendous amount of drop in earnings. So we're going to start with the Google Gulag. And I do mean the Google Gulag, because they have you in a position that you agreed to. So you agreed to go into a Google Gulag or a Google prison when you signed the agreement. So you have no right to complain about this. And I'm not complaining. Far be it from Michael Fazio to complain about anything. Okay. But I'm gonna do some complaining about concrete construction in the Philippines in a few minutes. I'm definitely gonna do some complaining about that. Even the job that I was on, and observed the way the men were working, and I don't think I could criticize it for what I saw, but I'm going to complain about what happened. Okay, so let's talk about the Google Gulag. Okay, I had a channel with 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to say good morning to some people. Scott, I am doing well, Scott. I slept a solid 10 hours last night, only to get up to have a glass of water. Good morning, good evening, Scott. I did get your message. I'm going to be working on setting up that account with GoPro so that I can get all that information together. Just yesterday was a 10-hour day in the city after we worked on the machine from 7 o'clock in the morning. So thanks for that information, Scott. Good morning, Graham, Charlie Y. Charlie Y. Forget about making money on Google and YouTube unless you have 5 million subscribers. Yeah, that's well, 5 million is a little bit overreactive, but Charlie, I'm going to explain to you what I did make with 1,000 subscribers. You're going to find it hard to believe, but those were different times. So good morning and good afternoon, Charlie White. Okay, so Slow Ride. Hey, Michael, congrats on the remonetization. Thank you, Slow Ride. Well, this is what this video is about, the remonetization of 535 videos. Okay, Jack Thompson, good morning, Jack. Graham, I haven't seen your latest video on concrete, but I imagine big problem in pouring concrete is not vibrating the air out as they pour. I see that often. Yeah, that's a major problem. And when they do vibrate it, it's inconsistent, which makes the validity of the structure of the concrete inconsistent, which makes the heat expansion and contraction inconsistent. Or they over vibrate it and bring all the water to the surface, which also is detrimental to the concrete. And the video that I uploaded, I can only guess, but what happened to that pour. But 320 plus feet of wall on the 4-story level collapsed, killing 1 and injuring 3. Could have been a lot worse, but that was in its own right. It's a catastrophe. So good morning, Chris. Okay, so now let me go. I'm going to digress back, and I don't need any notes on this. Originally, I created a series of videos about the dollar bill. You all know that from my channel. The channel icon and the channel video has never changed because the discoveries that I made about the dollar bill and then wrote the book about, Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio, those are real discoveries, and they have been suppressed by the media, and I mean every aspect of the media. But digressing past that, okay, I should be one of the richest people in the whole YouTube community, because the way my channel took off in the beginning was I went from 1,000 subscribers and about 200 plus videos, and my earnings were very close to $4,000 a month with just 200 videos. However, the top 5 videos earned in excess of $230 a month. And I have videos showing that on hard drives in America that I have to retrieve next year. So I have the videos of Michael Fazio being number one. Every video I put out was a number one, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 views in a few days. And by the end of the week, 15, 20,000 views. Some were getting 15,000 views a day. So the YouTube earnings have subsequently decreased. They kept going up for the first year. Okay, so they went up to around the $4,000 per month mark with only 1,500 subscribers maximum. Now I have 20,000 subscribers in Google and YouTube, and the earnings are 42 times less. Now, again, for the people that just came on, I can't show you the analytics. If you were a member of my Patreon account, then you could see private videos, because YouTube, you sign an agreement with YouTube that you won't show the statistics without their written permission. You could do it, but you're supposed to get written permission. I'm not going to bother with that. You just have to take my word, understanding that I've never told anybody anything that wasn't the truth. And I mean the truth. Okay, no one can go back on any of my 2,400 public videos and tell me that they've found proof to make any statement I've made falsified. You might not agree with the fact that I believe that they're geoengineering the atmosphere for specific reasons, and we could get into that too. Someone reminds me, but you're not going to find me in an outright blatant lie unless it's totally comedy. Because if you'll remember, I am the first and the foremost and the most famous YouTube blogger in the YouTube community to talk about the great 44th POTUS and all of his foibles. Just just to give you an idea. No one has ever come close. But now those videos were demonetized. Some of them were age restricted by YouTube, and now I put those on my other platform and Patreon. So just to recap, and then we're going into the concrete collapse of the Alturas Mall. The Alturas Mall was a 320 plus, maybe 350 foot systematic or systemic failure of a wall 12 feet high, 6 to 8 inches thick, with an 18 by 24 inch beambox collapsed under its own weight. It was green concrete, but that video is now up on YouTube. It has been for about 25 minutes. So to recap Google, originally I had 200 videos on Google and earned approximately $4,000 a month. The top 5 videos always earned $220 to $260 a month every month for a year. Now, so you have 5 videos earning $200+ a day. Excuse me. 5 videos earning $200+ each and every day, not month, day. The top 5 videos. So then I lost my channel for the most ridiculous reasons. One of them was valid to a point, but the other 2 were just nonsense. I put the tags in the description box. And when you put tags in, you put many tags, excuse me, then you decide which are the most valid tags. Well, one of the videos, I forgot to take the tags out of the box. And it wasn't so much that there were tags in the description box, but there was too many tags in the description box. So I got a strike for that. Now, they could have just removed the tags, but I got a strike for that. A few days later, I received a strike, or a few months later, I don't recall exactly, but it was within a 30 or 40-day period. A few days later, I received a strike for music, copyrighted music. Now, I lived on the water, and either a boat went by with the stereo playing that was below my hearing ability that the YouTube computer picked out, and it was copyrighted music. And at the time, you got a strike for putting copyrighted music in a monetized video. But you couldn't hear the music. I still have the video on my drive. You couldn't hear the music, or a car went by. So I got 2 strikes on my first channel. And the reason I got those 2 strikes is because they wanted me off the air. They said, we know who Michael Fazio is. We're going to make this personal. We're taking your channel down. Because there were hundreds of other videos with people had the whole character, maximum character of 5,000 characters in the description box was filled with tags and blatantly misleading tags. Like let's say you were a gay blogger in Manila, okay? And you put 2 hot women in Manila in the title. Let's say but your real modus of operandi was that what you're doing is recruiting gay or homosexuals to your other website. Now, if you were a gay blogger in Manila and you put down 2 beautiful ladies in the video, and then you show a thumbnail of 2 ladies that you communicated with for, say, 10 or 15 seconds or 2 or 3 minutes. But then in the description box, you put down about the ladies and your encounter with those 2 ladies. But in the tags, you put down false or misleading tags to bring traffic to your video. So you have 2 beautiful ladies in the title, but then you have a description of what occurred when you met these 2 beautiful women in Manila. But your real modus of operandi is to recruit people to gay and or bisexual or transgender dating sites. But in the tags, it says meet gay men in Manila, or gay men dating in Manila, or lady boy dating in Manila. or transgender dating in Manila, and you put those tags in your description box, those are false tags. I don't do that. So my tags are legitimate tags. Now, you can't see other people's tags anymore, but what I see happening are people getting ridiculous amounts of views for the same video. If I produced the same video, let's say I met two pretty women in Davao, which is going to be released tomorrow night, and I release this video, I'm going to get 500, and this digresses back to how Google has a personal vendetta to some people on the internet. I put out a video, two beautiful women or three beautiful women in Davao, and I'll receive from 20,000 subscribers, Google and YouTube, after I plaster it in several different websites with millions of subscribers, I'll receive 550 views. Maximum, I'm going to get 650 views. But if I gave that video to, let's say, a lady, not a lady boy, a blogger in Manila that blogs about beautiful women, if I gave him that video with my face on it, and he posted that video, even though he has 30% less subscribers, he's going to get several thousand views in the same amount of time, because Google is now transgendering the way it works, or not transgendering. Where did that transgendering? See, you got me talking about ladyboys in Manila, and right away my mind goes to transgender. My mind is definitely slipping. I don't know what. Okay, so they're not this. They're not doing this. They're doing transgression or transcending. They're transcending into other venues where ladyboy videos and or the tags that are generated in the videos. And this is just a possibility. Now, I'm not saying just that people do this, but I'm saying what I see, because once I saw one of those videos up and it had very, very misleading tags. Now, I can't say what the tags were because it would have to, if I said it, I'd have to prove it. But the tags had nothing to do with the beautiful women in Manila. But the tags did have to do with transgender dating sites, gay and bisexual dating sites, lesbian dating sites, meet gay men in Manila dating sites, that kind of thing. So those people are they're being blessed by Google. And people like me, who some people would consider crazy or alternative right, I am not, because I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that the alternative right does. But I am a self-made man. No one is ever going to get me to try certain things. You're not going to get me to go on YouTube and say, okay, for instance, yesterday I had told Daisy that there's a certain blogger in Manila. By the way, there's a blogger in Manila that always has people following him around, asking him for money or gifts or pasalubong or food. Now, I said to Daisy 3 days ago, that never happens to me. And my lawyer, a friend of mine who is a lawyer, said that it's a scripted, but in other words, that man, the possibility of that man paying those people to follow him to make, a not so truthful video, that possibility exists. And I'm not saying that that's what happens, because it's possible but I've never been followed around. Now, yesterday I did meet a girl in the park in TAGSl City who walked up to me, beautiful girl, said hello. When I said hello, I thought she was like waiting with her boyfriend for something. Very well dressed. This wasn't one of those Manila. This wasn't one of those Manila, Shangri-La videos that guy makes. But This was a real, in her own right, beautiful girl, full set of teeth, dressed to the nines, that asked me for 5 pesos. So I told her, you're 28, 30 years old. You are young enough to get a job. Go get a job. And she goes, no job, no job. So give me 100 pesos. I said, take a walk. And she did walk next to me about 2 feet away. And I immediately said, look, if you don't leave, I'm going to go get the police. There were no police, but I would have gotten the police. And this is a moral issue that I'm talking about here. I would have gotten the police and reported her for begging money in the park in Tagbilaran City. Okay, because I have a certain set of morals. And my moral turpitude is where it is. It's not going to change. I wouldn't reduce myself to telling that woman, yeah, you follow me around and I'll give you a couple of 100 pesos so that I could get views. For me, that's a psychological problem that you have inside your head, that you are instigating perversion. Okay, that's instigating perversion. When you let those people follow you around and then you show those videos on YouTube for the viewing audience, you, in my opinion, are progressing the pervert or the perversion level of YouTube. Now, I wouldn't do that. I could have, and this girl was hot. Okay, she was dressed to the nines. She was a pro, not like those girls in Manila that are overweight and disheveled. This girl's hair, her makeup, her eyes. She even had eyelashes. The eyelashes were all curled and beautiful. She was beautiful. She was a pro, but I wouldn't do that. Okay, so am I better than the guy in Manila making the ladyboy? I mean the videos with introducing ladyboys and prostitutes to the people of YouTube? I don't know. That would be up to you. You could leave your comments in the box below. But my friend of mine who's a lawyer has a personal issue with those videos, and she is addressing it to the best of her ability. Me personally, I don't want to get involved with all that paperwork. Plus, she works in a venue that she can actually speak with people about. But me personally, if he wants to do that, make the beautiful lady videos, if he wants to do that, then that's up to him. But me personally, all you're doing is progressing the transgender, gay, bisexual, lesbian agenda for views. But how is that helping the children of the world is what you should really be asking yourself. And just because you have belonged to certain institutions where you have this idea, do as thou wilt, okay, doesn't mean there is no morality issue with it according to what is the basic morality of right and wrong and good and evil. Okay, there is a right and a wrong and a good and evil in my perspective of the universe. And me telling that woman to take a walk or I'll call the police, I helped that woman a little bit, probably not much, but a little bit, because now she knows she can't get over on everybody because she's drop dead gorgeous and asks for money. Now, if I would have saw the police on the corner, I would have brought the police directly to her and made a complaint. That's the kind of person I am. But this making videos about prostitutes and letting them follow you around in the street for views, that's something. Now, going back to my original premise of Google and being in the Google Gulag, because I wouldn't do that, Google reduces my view counts. And because the ladyboy, I mean, the man who makes the videos about the women in Manila, the ladyboys and the transgenders and the gays, that Google pushes his venue, skyrockets his menu. That's my personal opinion. I can't prove any of that. Nothing that I said, I have to put a disclaimer, nothing that I ever say is real. It's just in my mind, except when I tell you that I'm telling you the truth, and that's my opinion, and that's the truth. And now I'm going to read the comments, and we're going to go on to concrete construction and systemic catastrophic failure of a wall that weighed more than 300 tons. probably closer to 500 tons. Half a million tons of concrete collapsed, killing one and injuring three. So let me review the comments. We're off, but if you guys want to leave comments about the ladyboy, I mean the man that does the ladyboy and transgender videos in the comments, you're welcome to voice your opinion. This is a free and open venue here we have here. But far be it from me to ask you for your opinion. I just want to know if you feel the necessary need to make a statement. By all means do so, because I am a fair and balanced individual until you cross that line. So, thank you, Jack. Jack has been a member of my Patreon account. Digressing before we do the concrete, my Patreon account has all the videos, and I still have another 500 or so videos that YouTube and Google has deemed inappropriate and age restricted. So even though Google approved, at some point there were 535 videos that were demonetized. Now all of those videos are monetized again, but instead of making, let's say, let's just say for 500 videos for each month, those videos earn, let's say they earn 5 cents, 5 pennies, okay? Now those 500 videos are earning 1 centavo, or 1/10 of a peso, or 1/10 of a penny. Bad example. Let's say those 500 videos made 500 pennies. Now they earn about 3 pennies a month. That's how much, even though they put the monetization back on, even though at some point they made 500 pennies a month, now they make about 3 or 5 pennies a month. Those 535. So, thank you, Google. You're the best. You're number one. I should be president of the Google Gulag, because although other people make videos about it, I gotta tell you, man, I think I'm the best when it comes to certain forms of entertainment. Like, but Jack is in agreement with me, and those videos can only be seen on my Patreon account. So now Jack has another comment about Danny and company built. Jack says, I think Danny and company built that bridge in Italy that collapsed. Now that's John, excuse me. I can't, even with these glasses on, I don't know why, but they're a little blurry. I think I got oil on from my fingers. Jack Thompson, John Parrish. Okay, Jack's comment is just above that. No, this is not the systemic collapse in Italy that I'm talking about, John. And I did get your message showing me. I did get the link you sent me last week. Thanks for that. I did review the link. But no, that's not. There was a catastrophic systemic failure of a wall structure being built in Tagbilaran City, next door to the BQ Mall. That video I posted on YouTube about an hour ago. So that's, if you want to go review that video and see 300 to 500 tons of concrete, a wall. Let's say the wall was 320 feet long this way, and it was 12 feet high from top to bottom, with an 8-inch or 6-inch wall, and then an 18 by 24 beam box, or maybe 30-inch beam box by 18 inches wide. The whole wall that was secured with beam boxes under the beam boxes of the wall. The whole wall collapsed downward like that from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor. I thought yesterday it happened because the vertical steel columns, the adjustable columns, collapsed. But I couldn't see, because without my glasses it was difficult for me to see. But what looks like happened is, I know the concrete was poured several months ago, because I made videos several months ago about that pour. What I think happened is they took the columns out and the concrete was green, and it just, one part of it went, or maybe somebody banged into the vertical columns at one end with a forklift or something. But there's no way of knowing, and I couldn't find the lead engineer. His name is John. I know him personally because I've been on the job site to meet with him about making videos, which he declined. So I didn't post any videos of that building, but I have them. But there was and so 320 plus feet of the wall with the beam box underneath the wall, and we're talking like 18 feet from this vertical perimeter wall to the original, or the main column and beam box column ties. It fell down and collapsed, but 320 feet of it fell down. So this is a catastrophe. I have a link for that also, that I'm going to put in the video description box in the pinned comment, but I didn't do it. I forgot. I was running into getting a live stream done before 10:30 in the morning, and I just ran out of time. Have the link posted somewhere yesterday, and I will post it in the description box. So this is different. Dan didn't have anything to do per se with the building of the building. I'm sure Dan does not advise the Alturas Mall on how to do concrete construction. So we're not going to put any of the onus on Dan on this one. Okay, Charlie. By the way, Graham, you are absolutely correct regarding proper procedures of vibrations. Vibrations will eliminate any air pockets or voids in concrete. Yes, Charlie, he is correct. Rick Downing. Good morning, Rick. Okay, warm greetings from South Florida to you, Michael. Good morning, Rick. We're doing well, thank you. Daisy was out doing laundry. Again, it's hot here. Yesterday I went to the city and burned up a shirt, the hat, and my shorts, and my sandals. By God, they were sweating all day in the rain. Daisy just finished doing that laundry. Thank you, honey. You want to come and say hello? Hollywood? This is my guapa, even the Polish lady who she helps babysit the children next door, which Daisy decided that she wants one. Soon, she said. Yes, yeah. You said soon. I said, you want one of those babies? And she just turned around. She's not much for words, but when she speaks volumes. I said, do you want one of those babies? And she said, she went like this, soon, and went back to doing what she was doing. Hint. So soon. I have some things to address. So say good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
And what about thanking Gary for the member, Gary Bonoya?
Thank you very much, Sir Gary Bonoyer.
Now, Gary is a member of my Patreon account. Now, I actually sent, okay. Everybody here knows I'm not broke, okay? But the monies that I make from YouTube, it's getting ridiculous. I'm going to tell you something. That we'll use the cup of coffee and a donut method to tell you how much money I earned yesterday with 2,400 videos. I earned not enough money to go into the Dunkin' Donuts in the BQ Mall and buy one cup of coffee and one donut. So my Patreon members, who are going to receive back 50% of any monies that they invested, that's going to come out of what, it doesn't matter if they come to the Philippines and stay in my hotel when it has rooms available. Even they come and stay in the Philippines, 50% of whatever money that is pledged to me on Patreon is going to go towards their hotel rooms, and I will get them a hotel room. And I will even help them acquire a hotel room. Even I get a discount, I don't get a discount. That money goes, when they get here, 50% of the money that they donated goes towards a hotel room. So it's not like you're giving something to somebody and not having the ability to receive in return, besides from the amazing videos that Google has censored that you can see, which are, there's over 400 now. Plus you get to see where I live. And at a certain level of pledge, it'd be $5 or more per month, but you get to see where we live exactly and how we live. So maybe you could see things that you wouldn't see. I wouldn't post on my normal channel. Plus, there are things in those videos I talk about that I wouldn't even talk about on a live stream. YouTube has rules, you know. So thank you, Gary Bonoya. Thank you immensely. I think you over pledged. And I sent Gary a letter to that effect. And if Gary shows up on here, I actually asked him to, if he stopped subscribing to my channel at this point, it would be okay. If he took the pledge down, it would be okay, because it's the thought that counts. And Gary was more than over generous. So thank you. And Scott has been a member for a very long time. Jack, many of the people on this live stream have been members of my Patreon community, just so that they can see the old Obama videos, which, by the way, I was right about Mr. Obama. No one on this planet, no YouTube blogger, no one in the whole entire world has what I have. Nobody got what I got. Whether I got it from working with real men in the Dock Builders Union or the International Union of Operating Engineers or Crane Operators Union, whether I got it from owning my own construction company, no one on YouTube got what I got. Nobody got it. There ain't nobody that got what I got. You just remember that. Because the people one day that you think are going to come and do the blah, 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 you won't see any of that really happen. They might even come and actually see me and make a decision that's probably not a good idea. It doesn't matter what you people think. It matters what I think. Okay? And just because I'm old and fat, I still have what you don't got. And I could actually show you what you don't got on screen. Okay? But this is what I got, baby. This is what I got. I have proof that Mr. Obama was the greatest president that ever lived. That's right, Michael Fazio. I was the number one, and you made me famous. No, Mr. Obama, you made me famous because I got what you ain't got. I have an Obama doll, and he backs up everything that I say. And not one other person on YouTube has the Calyones, the Itlogs, the Eggs, the Boys to even come close to my Obama comedy. That's what I got that you don't have. And if you wanted to meet me and meet Mr. Obama in person, far be it from me. I will meet those people. Michael Fazio will sure was the number one. See, Mr. Obama got my back. Okay? Not that I need Mr. Obama. So any of you YouTube bloggers or vloggers out there that want to come and talk about concrete construction or real construction, and we did it on a live stream or we did it verbally on a video or like a GoPro video, I could ask you some questions about, I don't know, you got guys telling me they're smoothing out concrete with a 10-inch triangle trowel. You don't smooth out concrete with a trowel. You trowel concrete with a trowel. You can scrape concrete with a piece of wood, but you don't smooth it out. So any of you people that want to go over concrete terminology, be my guest. So now that you know what I got that you ain't got, we can go on. I'm gonna have to go up. I see Scott is making some comments here. I'm gonna go up and see the previous comments. Okay. Sasha. Okay, wait, we're going to get to Sasha in a minute. Sasha just got back from the Philippines. How do I get this up? Okay. Okay, so Spanky's. I know who Spanky is. That's Gary. Okay, Spanky is. Will have the opportunity to scare the shit out of me with scuba tank on. Yeah, thanks. I live in a beautiful place. People ask me why I moved to the Philippines. If you lived where I lived and had the kind of neighbors that I have, you'd move here too. Okay, Spanky says, take care of that teddy bear. That's Gary. Okay, yeah. He well, I remember. Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much. Okay, I didn't know you were here when I was talking about you before, so I talked about you in the third person. Okay, all right. So let's see. Boy, there was a lot of comments I missed. Okay, no, I missed more. Oh my goodness. Okay, Charlie. What is it? Okay, all right. So Charlie pouring concrete. Well, I'm going to go through these quick. If I miss you guys, Chris Alexander, is there inflation in the Philippines? You could Google something like that. I really wouldn't know. I don't know much about economics, to be honest with you. And I'm being serious. I just don't know about that stuff. I don't follow. That would be a whole nother topic for me to follow. Charlie White. I remember working with concrete in Melbourne, Australia, and in the summertime, we used reducers in the process of making concrete to slow down the curing process of concrete regarding the heat. A reducer is a chemical that you put in. See, concrete doesn't evaporate. Everybody thinks concrete evaporates, and that's how it gets hard, that the water evaporates out of it. The water doesn't evaporate out of concrete. It evaporates off the top surface of concrete, but it becomes a molecularly it bonds to the substrates in the concrete itself. So a reducer, if the concrete bonds, if the concrete cures, the word is curing. If it cures too quickly, it becomes brittle. So there's an optimal amount of time that concrete is supposed to cure. Now, for instance, it's better to pour concrete in the shade than the sun. Okay, but if you have to pour it in the sun, as soon as you get that concrete screeded or rough screeded, before you even bull float it, you can take a fine hose and mist over it. That keeps the concrete cool from evaporation. I don't know if that's what caused the catastrophic failure. There's so much to know about concrete. It's a whole science, concrete. If you mix the same concrete on the same day and let it cure properly, by tarping over it and hosing down over the tarp and keeping the surface cool and having fans blow across it, the concrete might last 120 years, because concrete gets hard, continually gets hard for 50 years. So the first day it's green, the first 90 days it's still green concrete, and then it keeps getting, but it gets harder. That's why you don't see people taking the forms down for 60 days is probably the better than 30 days. But 30 days, if it's just foot traffic, you can get away with that. You can't drive over it. But best to keep the concrete forms in place where they are, in solid like a rock. Don't move anything for 90 days. So concrete curing determines whether or not the concrete is going to be a good mix or a bad mix. The same mix on the same day, if it's you mix one 10-inch slab and let it cure properly by keeping it cool, putting reducers in it, and you mix another slab right next to it, in 50 years, the one that you didn't help assist cure properly is going to crumble. 50, 70 years. The one you did help, in 50 years, it's still getting harder, and then for another 50 years, it starts to degrade. That's what people don't understand about concrete. So the reducers make the concrete cure slowly. There's also other methods. You can put PVC pipe through very thick pores, or copper pipe, and then run water through the pipe. Say you had a 14-inch pour and you wanted that concrete to be as maximum cure as slow as possible. Well, the water on the top and the reducers are not as good as having water circulate through the concrete, because the water keeps it cool internally. The reducer also does other things on a molecular basis that you would prefer not to have happen, but it's still better than having it done dry in the sun. As soon as it dries in the sun, you already blew your load on that load of concrete. When you let it dry in the sun and you don't hose it down every 20 minutes or an hour in the afternoon, you just lost, I don't know, 10%, 20% of the strength long term is gone. So there is ways to cure concrete. They don't do that here in the Philippines, and that might be the reason for the failure. Okay, Graham talked about vibrations. Scott, no worries, Michael. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, Charlie, remember working. Okay, so we're going to go down one page. Okay, Jack Thompson, really. I have been a member. Okay, we talked about Jack. Thank you. Okay, John Parrish, he's always there with a helpful love quote. Thank you, John. Danny didn't have anything to do with the poor in Italy, though. Okay, Rick Downing, good morning, everyone from this set of standards. Yeah, Graham says everyone has a different set of standards and are willing to add and flow when it comes to morality. Yeah, okay. All right, we could say that is the open-minded political left of the world, okay? You are talking about a level of consciousness that is common to the common man. But moral turpitude, or true moral turpitude, in my opinion, is acquired by moving past the mundane level of human consciousness, which is not so easy to do. Some people have a higher moral turpitude that coincides with my beliefs because that is just their moral turpitude, but it didn't arise from a higher level of awareness into the universal principles of consciousness. Okay, and without getting involved with the Christ consciousness or the Buddha consciousness or the consciousness of love and light, on a higher level of consciousness, there's a certain moral turpitude that you're going to take, which is basically was pretty much simplified by Grandmaster Richard Barons, who's on YouTube. And it basically says not to harm the harmless, not to hurt the innocent, not to lie, not to steal, and not to dishonor myself, my master, or the art of senso akijutsu. That's Master Richard Barron's saying. Basically what he's saying is not to harm the harmless. But he did not say that if someone attacks you, you can't harm them, because at that point they're not harmless anymore. So your moral turpitude about harming the harmless is a good aspect of reality, but Master Richard Barons, according to some of his lectures, it would do things to you that they haven't even done in movies yet. If you messed with his children or his wife or his family or his house or him. So his moral turpitude is he would never harm a child. But if you harmed his child, there would be no end to retribution. So that moral turpitude, according to the law, is wrong. But according to the higher levels of consciousness of the universe, that's okay. So you have to determine morality. You people determining morality from what you've read or what you've been taught, some are good, some are bad morality. But when you move to a higher level of consciousness, there is no right and wrong. It's choice. You choose to be a good person, but you don't have to be a good person. That's the true nature of the universe. The aliens, if there are such things as aliens, and I do believe they exist, they look at us as a cosmic joke because we have all of this knowledge available and we're still walking around with several wars. Never has there not been a war in the last 50 years somewhere on the planet. So our moral turpitude and the moral turpitude of the people that run this country is a cosmic joke. Those people that have traveled distances of light years, thousands of light years, however long it took, if they traveled 1,000 light years, because there are people from other worlds working with our government and working with other people's government. But if it took them, even if it took 10 seconds to travel 1,000 light years, their civilization might be 10,000 years or 100 years more advanced than we are. They could wipe us out in an instant. You see the movie. It's one of my favorite movies, and I got to tell you, John Travolta played the greatest part. Battlefield Earth, where the aliens took over Earth in 9 minutes. I think they said the war was over. If there was a species of being from other worlds, and they looked at us on a moral level that we still have wars, well, maybe they decide to wipe us out. Maybe they just say, well, they're infant stage, let them do as they will. But the moral turpitude of the human consciousness is based on what you've learned and read in schools. That has nothing to do with true morality. So if you choose to put up child pornography videos and you think that's right, I think it's wrong. I wouldn't even talk to you in real life. I had a friend of mine since 5 years old that told me once we were in a diner, let's go out with these little girls. They were like 12 or 13 years old. I said, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, he goes, they're looking at us and smiling. They want to make some money. I said, Bobby, when we get back to the job, you just pack your stuff. You're done. That's it. I thought he was kidding at first. We're in a McDonald's in Oceanside, Long Island, right next to the Whistle Stop diner. It was not a McDonald's, a Burger King on the way to Oceanside, or at the beginning of Oceanside on Long Beach Road. We were on a Burger King. Bobby, when you get to the job, you pack your stuff. You're done working for me. And he never worked for me again. And I was like only 35 years old. So I have my set of rules when it comes to morality. I could be wrong. Bobby was a good worker too, but he never worked for me again. And that was he was my friend since I was 5. So we were friends for 30 years, worked for me for 15, and I never worked with him again after that day. So my moral turpitude is different than yours, but my moral turpitude comes from not just believing in something, but knowing something is a reality to me. It's my reality. You're not going to change my mind. You're not going to get me to do ladyboy videos in Manila. You're not going to get me to do transgender. You're not going to get me to put a transgender on unless one of them is in the video as a greeter for like the Outback Steakhouse, whatever those fellas were. I called them boys, but they were okay with it. But you could see that they were definitely of a different mental persuasion. They didn't get offended. But I personally, if you look like a boy, I'm going to call you boy. I'm not going to say, okay, you're a lady, unless I'm making a joke out of it. And I don't really have a tendency to make jokes out of that stuff. I will say, if you want to believe you're a lady, you're a lady. If that's your belief, then I'm okay with it. But I am going to call you sir or ma'am. That's what I'm going to do. If that offends you, well, then that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I don't care. I never cared, and I'm never going to care. So you people on YouTube that want to change my opinion, you could do what you will, but it's not going to change the way I think. Okay, so Rick Downing, the world is a freak show. That's right, Rick. It is a freak show. Okay, good afternoon, Michael. Warren H. is back. Hello, Warren. Okay, always reminds me of a German fellow, Warren H. Maybe because he has Schultz, Sergeant Schultz. So up as his icon, John Parrish. Okay, well hello, Shasha Shipwreck. Hello, sir. Just returned from the Philippines trip. Good morning, Sasha. Sasha owns a towing company and some fast-moving snowmobiles or snow vehicles. He's a man. Sasha's a man, no doubt about that. I don't have any doubts in my mind that Sasha and I will get along just fine, as I would with DaveXl, who's been a Patreon member. Sasha is not a Patreon member, but DaveXl is. He's the gentleman that stuck up for me when that lady, the guy in Manila, was putting out videos that I was dead. DaveXl said to the guy in Manila that I wasn't dead and stuck up for me. Thanks for that, Dave. I know you're going to watch this video. And now I have to figure out, okay, I figured out how to scroll down this video thing. Ha, ha, ha. The Obama doll. That's right, Rick. Spanky. Wet concrete and cured concrete weigh the same. That's correct, because the water doesn't evaporate. Spanky Gary Bono, yeah, Spanky 9067. Wet concrete probably weighs a few ounces per square inch or meter or foot more, because the surface water dries off of wet concrete. But once the concrete surface water evaporates, wet concrete and cured concrete weighs the same. The only difference is the surface water evaporating off of the two, which should in theory be equal. But if you vibrate it too much, there's going to be more surface water on the over vibrated concrete. And if you trowel it with a wooden float, by the way, you don't smooth concrete, you float concrete to make it level, flat. But first you screed it, then wooden float, and then if you want a smooth finish, you don't smooth concrete, you use a metal trowel, 16-inch or 12-inch, depends on the size of your arm. You want some? Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I'm having trouble reading this. Hold on. Let me wipe these glasses down a little bit.